Hi guys, this is Revelle and welcome back to my channel where we discuss all things health, wellness and fitness, right? So today we're going to discuss iron deficiency. Iron is one of the most important minerals that our body needs. We need it to make blood, we need it to help our organs, we need it to basically just survive and to function in a good way, right? And so many men and women experience iron deficiency, and it is very evident in how we function on a daily basis. Sometimes we're extremely tired and fatigued. A lot of women experience it where their hair begins to start to thin. Their hair extremely thin. Some women even pass out. They suffer from dizzy spells and faints. It contributes to fibroids and PCOS and this kind of stuff. Well, PCOS is now PMOS, but iron deficiency is a major problem that men and women experience, and most people they don't even know how to combat it. One of the reasons why our body may not be absorbing iron malabsorption is due to leaky gut. So this is where the stomach lining in our body is damaged, and because the stomach lining is damaged and it has holes, this is why they call it leaky gut. You are not being able to transfer that nutrients now to the required organs through your blood, right? So there are different herbs that we could use now where we need to start by healing the gut, and stuff like slippery elm, marshmallow root. You could limit processed foods. You could limit stuff like coffee, because if the stomach lining in your gut is damaged, you're not absorbing it. Everything, all the nutrients is just passing through. It's like a strainer, and you put the stuff in the strainer, but it's just draining right back out. It's not getting to actually go to the organs to do what needs to be done, right? So that's one of the things that we could actually do that could help with iron deficiency, which is like begin to heal back the gut lining using herbs like slippery elm, marshmallow root, stuff that has high mucilage. Aloe vera is actually excellent as well. These things help to heal the gut lining. So if you haven't checked out my last video, feel free to go check it out. My last shorts where I discussed herb that is mineral dense that we can use that helps to build iron in the body. However, a lot of people go to doctors or they know they're iron deficient, and sometimes we try herbs, we try foods, we try blood transfusions, we try all sorts of things only to realize that our iron count is still extremely low, and a lot of times this is due to other reasons. So it's not that we're not getting our sufficient iron intake, but it's that our body is not being able to absorb the iron. Our body is not being able to convert it or transfer it, and this could be due to various reasons. This could be due to so many different things that our doctors oftentimes do not discuss with us that they should be discussing. So they don't run the proper tests, they don't find the root cause and stuff. So I'm just here to encourage anybody that there is sufficient help. There is help outside of doctors and these medical facilities sometimes, and doctors are excellent, they are great, they are there to do their jobs, a lot of them, but a lot of them they don't actually link the connections or the interrelatedness between two different issues or topics. So for example, a doctor may specialize in dealing with blood only, but he doesn't deal with gut issues, and he's not able to connect the dots with those two things. So there's a lot of videos and information, and people like myself and others who are committed to sharing information, who are committed to sharing resources and stuff, so that people can at least have a fighting chance to be able to heal themselves, to be able to rectify the issues that they may be dealing with, or reverse some of the problems that they may be having to bring the iron levels up and all these different things. So please be guided to speak to your doctors, but do your own research. Try and continue digging and researching, trying to find the root cause to the problem, and try alternative solutions, because a lot of women and men were able to see a drastic change when they fix their gut. the iron levels came up and a lot of the issues reduced. Another thing that we could do if we are suffering from iron deficiency is actually getting tested to see if we have any infections within our gut. There are disease infections such as H. pylori. These diseases actually multiply the bad bacteria in your gut. So your gut microbiome is severely damaged and it is unbalanced, right? And as such, there's a war zone going on in your gut where the good bacteria and the bad bacteria is fighting, and the bad bacteria is ultimately winning. Especially if it is you are not putting the good bacteria foods into your body, it's the bad bacteria is winning. So you want to add stuff like sauerkraut, kimchi, apple cider vinegar, stuff that is foods that is high in butyric acid. Eating high fiber foods, eating foods such as cooled rice, cooled sweet potato, green bananas. These things are resistant starches and also high fiber foods that helps to feed the good bacteria. Once the good bacteria is being fed, it is now able to be multiplied and it is able to fight off the bad bacteria, because the bad bacteria becomes resistant after a while if you are continuing to eat the same types of food. And this is why a high fiber diet is also important, because when you bad bacteria cannot survive on fiber, so the good bacteria eats it. So when you eat foods that are rich with sunflower seeds, flax seeds, pumpkin seeds, your sweet potatoes and your green bananas and these things, you are feeding the good bacteria in your body. Then we have high inflammation. So a lot of times our gut is severely inflamed, and as such, an inflamed gut, you're not able to absorb, your nutrients and stuff as efficiently as your body's supposed to. So this is where we are now supposed to eat anti-inflammatory foods that are going to reduce the inflammation or eliminate the inflammation within our body. So you want to eat stuff like onions, ginger, garlic, turmeric, and these things that is going to feed your gut and it's going to reduce the inflammation. You want to eat high antioxidant foods. You want to eat foods like blueberries and stuff, sour stuff. These things will help you now to reduce the inflammation, to also fight the bacteria and heal your gut lining, and by extension allow you to now be able to absorb your iron through the foods that you eat as well as the supplements that you take. Another thing is that iron is absorbable with vitamin C. So when you're taking iron supplements or you're eating iron foods, it is quite important that you take vitamin C supplements with it, right? So if you're going to take something rich in iron, you want to take stuff like vitamin C, camu, elderberry, those kind of stuff, those rich in vitamin C. You want to incorporate those with your iron. Another thing I want to remind people is that our body needs, the 19 vitamins and minerals to create healthy cells, which then creates healthy organs, which then creates healthy organ systems, which create a healthy you. So if you are deficient in any one of the vitamins or minerals, you are automatically already on your way to some sort of malfunction of your cells, some sickness, some disease, or whatever. So if you are severely deficient in your iron, this is only going to create a lot of health issues and health problems for you. And I know sometimes it is hard, but you can surely reverse your iron deficiency, and I am here rooting for you guys to do better. So that we tend to ignore is the fact that we tend to eat a lot of gut destroying foods. We eat a lot of processed foods, we eat a lot of sometimes alcohol. There are people that their iron is severely low, and coffee blocks iron absorption, and they will drink coffee like it's going out of style. So you want to begin limiting or eliminating these foods that is destroying your gut microbiome: the coffee, the processed foods, the alcohol. Even some medication destroys your gut lining. Sometimes taking medication There was a time that I used to get headaches and I would take Vaseline for headaches, but sometimes, because you're working and you're rushing, I wouldn't eat something properly, and it began to give me acid reflux. It began to affect my stomach lining because these tablets are sometimes so strong. So you want to make sure that you are putting the right foods, the right nutritional foods in your body if you want to be able to heal the iron deficiency. It is so much more than just taking, iron supplement or some tablets or getting a blood transfusion. A lot of times it can be fixed by actually, healing gut, as I mentioned before, and limiting some of the bad foods that we're eating that is contributing to it. So guys, there are many different foods, many different herbs that are rich in iron that you want to now to start, incorporating in your diet. So the show that I did previously before, where I mentioned I had so guys, you want to make sure and fix your gut issues first before you begin going and taking all these different supplements. Try and make sure that your gut is in order. And even if you go to the doctors and the doctors run tests, doctors don't always run all the tests that they should run. Sometimes they just run a couple tests, and a lot of tests go unseen. And as such, you return home with some iron tablets or supplements. You get your iron transfusions. However, your iron levels are still very low. Your hair is still thinning and falling out. You're still experiencing shedding and loss and tiredness and fatigue. And these are things that can be prevented if it is, you do the accurate tests by the doctors, and you begin now to do your own research. You begin now to do your own research on why it is your body not absorbing the iron, because you're eating the iron rich foods, and sometimes we are not eating enough iron rich food. So you want to eat stuff that is very rich in iron, your dark green leafy vegetables, your green fig. You want to eat beets, you want to eat stuff like teff, you want to take anything that is very iron rich, and you want to pair it with your vitamin C so that you're getting sufficient amounts of iron in your body every single day. And once you begin to heal your gut lining, as I mentioned before, you use your slippery elm, your marshmallow root, then you'll be able to see, your stomach your lining is now coming back to heal, right? So guys, please don't let these doctors bamboozle you into giving you another iron tablet, into giving you a transfusion without actually sitting and actually really doing the test and trying to determine the root cause as to why your iron levels are still so severely low, right? Because being deficient in iron, it brings a ripple effects of other problems that you do not want. Like, I've seen women, their hair is severely thin, they are suffering from alopecia, only the eyes black, they're tired, they're fatigued, they don't have no energy to do anything because their iron is so severely low. And they go to the doctors and they just prescribe medication, but it's not helping because they are not dealing with the real issues. They are not dealing with the fact that it could be malabsorption. You could be eating all the iron rich foods, but your body is not absorbing it because you're suffering from infections, or you have leaky gut, or you're not pairing it with your vitamin C. There are so many different reasons. So please don't forget to get to the root cause as to why your iron is low. So guys, thank you guys for watching again. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share and comment, and follow my channel for more informational videos like these on health, fitness and wellness. Bye you guys.